Hi, I'm Janina and this is Janinigans. Today I'm working on a really simple Cricut project. I have this 8.5 by 11 photo frame and I want to create a Twilight Zone themed piece of artwork. So I'm going to combine the typewriter font that we created a little bit ago with some silver foil and basically take the introduction of season 1 of the Twilight Zone series, put it in the center, and then also use the Cricut to kind of cut out a little bit of a swirl so you get that spinning effect that the beginning of the episode has. I'm going to first create my graphic in the Cricut design space, which I don't really like that much, but it's such a simple project, I think it'll probably work in here. I'm going to start with the text portion and create a text box. The intro is pretty long, so I'm going to expand this text box in anticipation of that and then paste it in. I'll select all and head over to font. Now I already have my typewriter font in my system. If you too would like to download it, you can head over to that other video and it has a free download in the description. It'll be under system and then search for Smith Corona. There it is. This is looking pretty good. Here's where the challenge lies. When you're in Cricut and you have a font, unless it's a single line font specifically, which is almost none of them, it's only going to transfer the outline of that text. If I click on this and I go to operation and say foil, fine, for the sake, you could see right away, it is only showing us an outline of those letters. There's a really clever workaround people have come up with to essentially force Cricut to fill in the lines. And all it is a series of lines that are really closely spaced together. They group those together, and then you put your text over that and slice it. And so essentially now it has to fill in those really closely spaced lines, which to your eye will look like it's completely solid. That's really time consuming to create, and there's a lot of people that have already done the work. So I'm actually going to download one of these line images that someone has already made, and her video is really great on this, so if you want to delve more into the nitty-gritty, I'm going to link that below. We're going to edit a copy, and I'm actually going to lift that out of here and open up the file that I already started. Paste that in here. If I zoom in, see, it's just a bunch of zebra lines. We'll just orient it, take our text, and then temporarily scale that down. We're going to select both of those items and make them bigger. When we look at this, I'm realizing the lines are going to be horizontal. So another thing we can do is offset. Then I'm going to drag my text over here and I'm going to scale it down until it fits in the box. So it's in there. Select both items. Then we're going to make them big. Check our work. There it is. Make sure both are selected and go ahead and click on slice. It's going to take a second. Has to think real hard about this. I got a little impatient and now it's sliced a million times. I'm going to delete all the other layers. So we can see here if I enlarge this that everything has a line going through it. But we're going to go ahead and make that 8 inches. And then we'll change it to foil. Change it to silver, just so we have a nice accurate preview. Okay, we're done with the text portion for a second. I need to find a graphic for the swirl that I want to cut. Go to images, and then I'm going to search spiral. Let me start with this one. Let's try setting it to the full height of this frame and see what happens. It should be 11 by 8.5. Okay, that's not bad. I'm going to go to shapes and find an oval. Let's make it yellow just so we can see it. The goal is that it covers the text. Okay. I'm going to add another shape. Let's add the square. And let's size that one to 11 by 8.5. We'll make it yellow also so we can see. The yellow is going to represent the frame. I can then take the swirl and we're going to put the swirl above it. I don't want a bunch of dead space up here, so we're really going to go edge to edge here. Kind of like that. The sky is going to be black. And we need it above it. See, this is the problem. I don't want it to drown this out. Kind of rethinking my idea a little bit. I think it's looking a little messy with the spiral behind it, so I'm gonna pivot from my original idea, and I don't think we're gonna cut anything on this. I'm gonna go back and open the fill starter file again, and then I'm gonna go to images and spiral. I'm gonna look for one that's really tight, like this one here. So my plan is to also silver foil the spiral instead of cutting it now. And because it will also just do the outline, we will also need to use the same technique on this. Let's take a look. Ooh, that's pretty trippy, but maybe that's good. And then I'm gonna paste that here and change it from basic cut to foil and silver. I will drop that in here. We're gonna fill this whole thing with the spiral. That's pretty good. And then I'm gonna make a new box. And this box is gonna get sized over this text. Let's make it yellow. And then I'm gonna take the box, put it over the spiral that we just made, align center, and slice. And then wait 10 minutes. When we have that result, we can delete what we're not using. I'll bring it up to the black box, and I'm going to center align again and slice one last time. I'll move out what I don't need, delete that. That's looking pretty good. And then we can take the text and we will also align center. We just gotta make sure we move it to the top layer. Now we got these ugly lines to the left and right here. I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheat for that. I'm gonna go to shapes. And here, this one didn't quite cover it. There. I'm gonna take the 3 squares and I'm gonna weld them together. And then I can go to the weld results and the slice result from the spiral, and I'm gonna slice one more time. Delete the slice results. We're gonna take all of my remaining layers and align them center. So I will delete the background now. We're gonna attach and then make. I think we're ready to get the Cricut out. I got my Cricut. Now I just need my paper and my silver foil. And I'm gonna try using my light grip mat. I found that with the regular one, this paper sometimes tends to warp a little bit. This is my first time using the Cricut Silverleaf. What is this? Do they give you... They give you tape to tape this down. That's pretty nice. This is great. I love that they give you this. And I'm just gonna make sure that we're getting it nice and stretched out. That's beautiful. Okay. Silver foil is loaded up. I'm gonna go ahead and hit continue here. I'm just gonna say heavy cardstock. And now we just need to load the foil transfer tool into clamp B. Then we load this up. And last but not least, hit the Cricut button. %. Keep doing your thing. I'm not gonna disturb you. Uh-oh. Oh, I have to change the attachment. I had set the spirals to be bold, but I only have the medium tool, or whichever one this is. It stopped to give me the chance to change it, which is good because this is looking really nuts. So I think I'm gonna pull off the foil and then just tape down a new piece in this section. I sure hope this worked. Okay, moment of truth. Whoa, and there's a lot of little spots. But the thing is, this particular piece, since I'm using the typewriter font and a real typewriter would have the variations in pressure, I think this is quite appropriate, and we're gonna call it part of the art. Now it's important to do all this without unloading the mat or else you're gonna have to start again. So put that here. I think I might just use regular tape. Okay. Oh my God, we're done! So that took probably about 2 hours. I'm gonna pull it off of here first. It's a little bit hard to read up close, but I think it works decently from a distance. Kind of makes you think you're in the Twilight Zone trying to read it. All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, I'm happy enough with it. It took way too long to do. I wasn't expecting the Cricut to take almost 2 hours to do this foil, and I think it was because I added those lines in, so it had to go line by line and do that, but I think it looks pretty good. So you could definitely read it, and it filled it in pretty well, but I was hoping it would be a little more typewritery than it actually turned out. It'll be appropriate for the Halloween season. Wow, Wes must be cooking something downstairs. It smells kind of like an alternate dimension? Is that a road sign up ahead? I guess I'll see you guys next week.
In the Twilight Zone.